Virtual edition.
Yeah.
Today's discussion will consist of basically the Twitter outrage that surfaced on the internet the other day.
Who wants to outline exactly what happened first?
Okay, so for those of you that don't know what's been happening on social media lately, basically a couple social media influencers and YouTubers that are quite well known in the UK have been dragged on the timeline on Twitter because of a few tweets that they've tweeted in the past. Someone must have found their old tweets from when they were younger, like teenagers, maybe like 13, 14, 15 years old, of them being colorist, xenophobic, and even some comments about rape and stuff that you shouldn't be talking about. But yeah, and then now they're being dragged for it years later. And so do you guys think that they should be cancelled?
It depends on the severity of what they tweeted, first of all. Like, for example, obviously there were so many people that tweeted things. So obviously I don't remember all of them, but like Nella, for example, I don't think she should be cancelled because since the time that she tweeted the things, like, she's done so much.
Yeah.
She's done more good than harm, basically.
I feel like people shouldn't judge them based on, like, how old was she? Like 15, 16?
Yeah,
like 14, 15.
Yeah, people grow, you know, everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah. I feel like everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah.
And it's only because she's in the public eye that
they're making a big deal out of it.
Yeah.
I don't
also,
think age is an excuse either.
No, it's not an excuse, but it's not an excuse, but it's just a factor. And also, everybody grows.
I don't think it's the age thing that's like as an excuse. It's the time, like the time since it happened.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been a long
time
since it happened, and it's obviously people can change over that time. But at the end of the day, the whole thing with cancel culture, it's not like everybody's gonna decide unanimously that they're cancelled. If you wanna engage with that person, it's completely up to you. So like, say if like Somalis might get offended by what happened, they might not want to watch her videos anymore. That's completely up to them. So it's down to who actually wants to listen to it. You can't just say somebody's cancelled. It's not one person's like decision. It's everybody's decision. So it's just different. It depends on who wants to listen to it.
Yeah, even
and I think it's toxic because it's like we've all said things, and just because it hasn't been tweeted or documented, that's the only reason why we get away with things.
But at the same time, though, I do think, like, I don't think that we should stop completely this whole cancelling thing. I do feel like it is a way of holding these celebrities to account, like it's accountability, and like it's not just Nella Rose that has been. It's just the fact that this situation is very unique to other cancelling situations. Whereas where the conversation started, the conversation was started to protect women just like her, you know, and now she's been somehow demonized and turned into the demon and all of that kind of stuff, and like the whole kind of conversation has been like misconstrued almost. But at its very core, it is to hold people accountable. Like, for example, for example, like Jeffree Star, like that makeup mogul, he's like, I don't know, and he said some mad crazy things, you know, and like literally openly out, and he has not been cancelled, and he's like, but like he should be, like, he should not be still making money.
The difference is, who's watching him though?
That's true. Okay,
I'm watching him.
But they should, in solidarity, also cancel with us, though.
Why they're not gonna care?
But it's the same with like Gucci.
But they should. It's solidarity, though. Yeah, I know. Of course.
That's not how the world works.
I wish. Yeah, that's true. But like, I'm just saying.
We can't decide. Let's cancel this white celebrity. We can't decide if he gets cancelled because he's not in our community. Do you know what I'm saying?
But don't you think that is solidarity? So, for example, though, but us as we're not dark skinned. I don't think anyone here identifies as dark skinned. So does that mean that we should not cancel these people because what their comments did not affect us?
But it's up to you. It's up to you at the end of the day.
If they say she's cancelled, then we should cancel her as well. No, in solidarity with our dark skinned brothers and sisters.
Yeah, obviously, but. No, but you can. Okay, cool. That's a fair point. But at the end of the day, it is up to the person if they want to listen to them or not. Like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do anything. Like, you can't just because they cancel them. It's not like, cool, we have to do it.
No, that's true. That's true. And then also, like, if she's apologized and if she's done so much to repair all of that, and you know, with Nella's actual situation, I don't think she should be cancelled. Like, what she said was like, this
Very
in
minor,
comparison
yeah.
to what other people have said. Like, this is the thing, like, this is also another thing, like, yet again, the accountability has now gone to the women, and the men have just slipped through the cracks.
But
Like, there's all the BBC articles are like shaming all the women that have played part in it, but the whole reason that everything started was because of what the men said.
yeah.
And so that's just
I feel
yeah.
like the people that are focusing on it the most are like on Twitter. The most people I see tweet about the whole topic in general is women. I don't see that many guys.
Yeah, because
That's the whole
Because it doesn't
more
really
girls
affect the men, though.
tweeting
That's the
about,
thing.
no, but I'm saying I see
The
more
men
girls tweeting about Nella
don't
Rose than I
care.
see
They-
guys.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't really see guys tweeting about Nella Rose getting at her. I see girls tweeting about Nella Rose getting at her.
It's true. Do you guys think these influencers had a duty to apologize? Like, do you think you would have wanted them to? Because a lot of people are saying
To
that
be
they
honest-
don't have a right to apologize, etc. But what do you guys think about that?
Well, you think they should just ignore it?
I personally don't think they should have ignored it.
No,
But
they should apologize.
Yeah, they should apologize. Yeah, because a lot of people were offended,
yeah,
especially those black girls that look up to Nella Rose and then now see that
Yeah, that's deep.
it's kind of deep. But yeah, at least like she's apologized now, and I feel like
Yeah, I think they should have spoken up about it, or they
Yeah.
did.
Do you guys remember that time? It was like such a thing to say stuff like that, to call people blick.
Yeah.
It was such a sick culture, and it was such a sick environment. Like, that's not okay at all, like at all. But it's just unfair that they've made her to be like.
No, but I feel like going on Twitter, it makes it seem like it was actually part of her personality. Like, that's how.
Yeah.
If you're going on Twitter to tweet about it, I feel like it's much different to
That is true, yeah.
bantering with your friends in school. Do you get what I'm saying? Because you don't actually mean it like properly if you're just bantering with your friends. When you're going on Twitter and like tweeting your opinion like that, I feel like it means that you're thinking about it more. Like it's actually like, I don't know, but it's like part of like your
thinking, and your
like,
actual
why are you
philosophy.
thinking about that stuff and tweeting about it? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like with the men and the women, it's different though. Like, even though I feel like if you've tweeted stuff like that, it's a deep-rooted issue. And I think even if you apologize and you've changed or whatever over time, yeah, like, okay, I get that age comes with immature. Like, when you're younger, you're more immature or whatever. But I feel like when the women were tweeting it, it's like more because it was just self-hate basically. But when men, I feel like, okay, I don't know how to word this, but I feel like the way, I feel like when the men did it, it was quite, it's basically unforgivable because like when the women said it, it was more a self-hate thing. Do you know what I mean?
It's all
Where
self-hate though.
stuff
it's
they
not personal to them. I get what you're saying. No, I get you, because like the women were like deflecting from their own self-hate by projecting it onto other women. But when men say it, obviously, yeah, your mum is black, your sister's black, but it doesn't personally affect you like the way it would for a woman. So
yeah. So this girl tweeted, if Nella Rose loses work due to this, then all I have to ask is, why did the non-black women like Steph London and Maya Jama get to continue working and receiving opportunities? Why is the black women not showing any grace and mercy?
what did Steph London say? I didn't even know she said that.
She also said some stuff, yeah. First of all, they are both black, by the way, right?
Yeah.
Maya Jama's, they're both mixed race or whatever.
That girl basically said that mixed people should be referred to as mixed race and not black.
whoa.
I'm not involved. That's another
That's
conversation.
another conversation.
Yeah.
I got something to say about her losing work. Basically, Steph London and Maya Jama, they don't rely solely on the black community and black women to for their income and for their for their content. You get me? Their content's for a much wider audience. Like Maya Jama's on the radio, she's on TV, so it's not the same. Like Nella's it's like only YouTube, and YouTube is about who you're reaching out to, like who's watching your stuff. You don't really get it's not like a company that's pushing you. So like if black women stop watching Nella Rose, then that's her like whole audience gone. But if black women stop listening to Steph London, she's gonna have other people listening to her.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's like it's not affecting a major part of their audience.
True, but I also think that colorism again plays a part in this, and I think that it just shows the same issue again because lighter skinned people are favorited over, is that word? Favorited.
Yeah.
Favored. Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, they're like favored over, over darker skinned people. Do you get what I mean?
I feel like it was more of a shock thing as well. People are much more shocked about Nella Rose's tweets.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
maybe because Maya Jama is light skinned, you wouldn't be like that shocked about her being a bit colorist in the past as compared to Nella Rose.
Yeah, I get what you mean though. Because when you're first reading it, you're thinking, aren't you a black woman? Like, that's why it was so shocking to a lot of people.
Shocked.
And because it contradicts everything that she vocalizes and talks about, like on her YouTube. She's always empowering black women. So for her to say these kind of stuff is like, you know, what's going on?
Yeah.
I think it just shows, I feel like it shows their personality more than anything. Or maybe not their personality now, but their personality then, it was therefore just like attention seekers or begs, I think. Like, you're just begging for attention. Why are you tweeting stuff like that? I'm there to beg for attention.
Yeah.
I don't.
Maybe it might not be like that now, but I feel like that's definitely what it was like back then.
But I felt that at the beginning when I first read the tweets, but after her video, like when I read it again and I look at the tweets, I feel sorry for her if anything.
Obviously,
like
after the video, you're gonna feel sorry for her. You don't
yeah,
think
but like
what to say?
I don't think any of them should be cancelled though, because it's sad. Like that's how they felt at the time, and they're getting corned for it now. Yes, obviously it's gonna hurt a lot of people, but we all make mistakes. That we shouldn't be judging anyone for what they've said.
Well, I was gonna ask you guys about like what you think of the Kevin Hart thing. Like a similar thing happened. He was like being homophobic. I don't know how many years ago.
Really? Wow.
I remember that.
There was like a whole documentary about it on Netflix. I don't know if you guys saw it. He was basically I don't remember what he said. He tweeted something stupid about like gay people being homophobic,
and he didn't apologize, didn't he? I think
he refused. He refused to apologize because he wanted to prove a point or something. And he even had someone on his team who was gay and wanted him to apologize, but he was just like, I'm not giving them that.
But he's not cancelled.
Tweets, or was it like?
But like they were trying to cancel him, and then he just, I feel like, I don't know, he just ignored it.
But there have been like celebrities that have been cancelled successfully. Like, do you guys remember the what's his name? Jussie Smollett. The guy from Empire, he's been cancelled. Obviously, R. Kelly has been cancelled.
R. Kelly, Michael Jackson.
I don't know. Chris Brown, even kind of.
Wait, Michael Jackson. Hold up. Why is he cancelled?
Don't throw Michael Jackson in there.
I think he's been cancelled.
Yeah, of course, but it's not real. I don't believe any of the stuff they're saying about.
Neither do I.
Why not?
Michael Jackson stands to. No, I'm so sorry. I feel like people are trying to bring people down when they're doing well in their careers.
They're trying to do that.
Watch the new documentary that's out. Like that will clear up your misconceptions. He's fine. He's good. He's not cancelled.
But can you guys separate like their work, like music and stuff, from what they've done?
But
like
they have been like
with R. Kelly, it was hard for me.
Really?
No, I mean, because come on, you have to appreciate some songs, but then when you think about it now, you're like, okay, wait, should I listen? No, I'm not gonna listen to it.
Yeah.
With me, it's hard because I really hate listening to like R. Kelly music now. But there are other artists, like for example, Chris Brown. I can't stop listening to Chris Brown. But I think it's maybe because of like they did different things.
Yeah. It's true.
Like R. Kelly, he repeatedly did so many bad things.
Yeah, with underage girls as well.
Yeah, and with what Chris Brown did, obviously it was a one-time thing, and he went to jail for it. Like he had time for it. So.
No, but R. Kelly done is much worse. What Chris Brown.
But I have a problem with that. You know, people like saying something is worse than another. Like obviously, rape is you don't even compare, but. Like it's all subjective, because you know someone who experiences colorism on a daily could have it. Like for them, that could be the end. Like they could not, you know, continue anymore with life or something like that. Like it's all subjective, I think.
Yeah, no, of course. That was all I was trying to say at the beginning. It's all down to you if you want to cancel someone. It's not like a unanimous decision that everyone's going to just agree to.
Any more questions, Johanna?
Yeah, let's do another question.
are we forcing the Black solidarity situation? After everything that's happening, do we still believe that Black people actually want to be a part of a unified front? Do we actually want what's better for each other?
That's really interesting, because in our conversation, Rihanna, do you remember Sharon said something really interesting, and she was like, why is it only in the Black communities that we force this kind of solidarity thing? Like, when something happens to Italians, the English people aren't going up in arms, or when something happens to Chinese people, it's not Indian people going up in arms for them. So like, why are we forcing this kind of solidarity? It's just a question. I'm not saying that's my opinion, but I just thought that was really interesting to think, because like a lot of these issues that are happening are also intra-Black, like this. Like a lot of people were saying to Nella Rose, like in defense of Nella Rose, but like at that time Somalis would say stuff like that to us as well, or like Somalis are also really anti-Black as well, and all this like competition kind of thing. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what you guys think.
Because as Black people as a whole, I feel like have been through more together.
Yeah, that's true. So
I mean, yeah, like whereas
yeah.
people, like, I mean, it's up to them if they want to unify, like, you know, Italians and the French with whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like as a Black community, we've been through more together.
And also 100%, I think we should have solidarity, like, just to make that clear, because if it's not us standing up for each other, then who's going to stand up for us? Like, we only have each other.
Against, like, we shouldn't be against each other. But the whole thing with like all Black people around the world being united is that there's so many different ethnicities and cultures within the Black community. It's like there's so many differences. We have to like acknowledge that we're not exactly the same across the board. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%.
But at the end of the day, we should all be supportive of one another, and we shouldn't try and tear each other down, basically.
Yeah, because we could be so strong if we actually all just, you know.
Even though there is all those like little differences, we can still work together. It shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, still work together and like help, like, I don't know, help support each other, basically.
But I feel like society has like it's a big factor. It's one of the reasons why like certain ethnicities, like in the Black community, are divided.
Why?
Does that make sense?
What do you mean?
Like, you know, for example, like what you see on TV and stuff, like it changes the way some people think, like people who are not strong-minded and don't know how to think for themselves.
I think it all starts from when we're in school, though. I feel like when we're in school, there needs to be something where we actually learn about, we need to learn about other cultures, like, see with the whole, like, people being xenophobic and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, not liking stuff from specific countries because they don't know, because they're ignorant. I feel like if you're educated, you're not gonna like be as hateful. So like when I got into year 7, my school, nobody knew about Ethiopia pretty much. Like no one that I spoke to in my year even knew what Ethiopia was. So because they don't know it, they're just gonna cuss you just because they don't know. They just want something different in it, something new to get at. So I feel like if you're taught about these things from early, then you can kind of avoid that. You know what I'm saying?
That could be taught in school and at home as well.
And at home as well, yes. Also parents. A lot of things is learned from your parents.
Yeah. I feel like with the education system, that I feel like that's something that's not really going to change for a long time. As long as like we have white leaders and stuff, I don't think that's something we can be in control of. I feel like it just stems from home. And like even social media and stuff like that, and the people we see behind our screens, like from young, you're seeing like, now it's like obviously a lot more improved, like on YouTube and stuff. We have like a diverse range of influencers and whatever.
The whole concept of race and like blacks, whites, and all of this stuff all comes from like white supremacy, anyways. Like when you're back in Africa, you don't like, no one's thinking about what race you are. It's just about your tribe. Your ethnicity is like the main thing in it. Like it's just about where you're from.
Yeah.
Thinking about if you're black or brown or white. It's all like a European thing.
Yeah, definitely.
We're not, at the end of the day, we're not even meant to be here. Like, this isn't our land at the end of the day. So like, I think wishing for things to change here is kind of unrealistic when we should be
that's so true.
trying to improve our situation back home so that we can be living there where we're actually like with our people. Do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. 100,000%. That's my life philosophy, Yosef. Thank you.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. Like only a couple months ago, Caroline Flack died because of this kind of stuff. And like it's just, I hate how the TL is so like
they're such
fickle.
sheep.
They're so there's such
like,
fickle sheep. Like it just goes one thing and then another thing, and it's just like these are big matters. Like,
you know, with the black men not speaking up as well about it.
The conversation literally started because of them. Like it was to
started because of them and
because of the men.
If you search up their names right now on Twitter, you're gonna see thousands of tweets about all of these.
It's not the same.
No, but it's not. They're not the topic.
They haven't got the BBC articles written about them.
Hey, but who wrote the BBC article though?
I don't know who wrote it.
It doesn't matter who wrote it.
It doesn't matter who wrote it. But it doesn't matter if it was a black woman or not. Whoever gets featured on something like that. Like it was Nella Rose and Only Bells.
What was an article though?
But
She's wrote the article.
No, I know, but she was not going to write about someone that she hasn't been seeing the timeline roast about. Like, do you know what I mean?
She's definitely seen it.
But what we're saying is, we're not saying we're not saying who has the most tweets. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that they're the topic of the conversation when it started because of black men. It started because of Eat with Ali's man. You know what I'm saying?
But at the time they was getting a lot of hate. They was getting all of that stuff. It's just that the topic switched to Nella because her tweets came up.
Okay, and now that we're at the end of that situation,
she's like a huge influencer. She's much bigger than everybody else that you mentioned.
Yeah, but
what she said is minuscule.
John Wayne's thing's already been discussed to it.
Yeah, Nats, please.
That came out.
Yeah, but what she said is absolutely minuscule in comparison to what the black men have said. Like, I don't want to, trigger warning or whatever. Like, what the stuff that they've said is absolutely like
the guys that you're talking about though, they're nobodies.
It doesn't matter though, but it doesn't matter.
They're not nobodies. Like, it's about nobodies.
The conversation started about how black men vilify black women. That was what the conversation started about, and in the end, it's turned into the timeline demonizing and vilifying another black woman, and it's just like that's not the outcome that we wanted. Like, of course she should be held accountable, but the outcome that we wanted is that all of these men who are now still keying on the timeline should not be doing that. Like, they should be.
They're not.
They are.
And I feel like you guys are just waffling. There's enough tweets on Twitter that men are talking about this issue. And it's just because the tweets that haven't got 3,000 likes.
There are tweets, but there's not enough. There's not enough. That's what we're saying. You guys are not speaking out on it enough.
Maybe that's just not what you're seeing.
But I'm talking about. I'm not talking about men.
I would love to see this.
But there's two different things. Like, it's not just about men talking about the topic, but it's about the men being actually held accountable, and all these men, and talking about how, like, specifically this issue relates to the women and the men. Like, do you see what I mean?
Exactly.
It's not just about men talking about it, because anyone can just tweet about it, but it's like this conversation started and had, like, the ideas of gender had a lot to do with this conversation. Do you understand? And now it's just, instead of exploring that and discussing that productively, we've just turned into hating on Nella Rose, and it's just like, it's not productive and it's just annoying. That's all.
I think Twitter never forgets anyways. Like,
it's true.
Gonna forget about this. And I don't think none of these guys are just gonna get away with it. Like, next time they tweet, people are always gonna be in the replies saying silly stuff. You get me? There'll be the people in the replies that may be like, "Oh, remember when you said this? Or remember you did that?" Like, whatever, like, go away like that.
Yeah, that's true.
So that goes on to the last question that I had. Should we do the conclusion?
Yeah.
How do you think we can navigate more productive conversations around racial politics within the black community? And how do you think we can become more united on issues like this? Because a lot of the things that I was seeing on Twitter, it just kind of turned into a cat fight. It was not really it was just basically, it's something that's gonna unfortunately probably gonna happen again, and it was not productive at all. All I was seeing was people attacking people. As soon as one person spoke up on it, there was like, people would dig up tweets from their past and would go, okay, well, do you know what I mean? Like, it was not productive at all, because look, now the conversation has kind of died, and what what actually came out of it? Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
Mm.
But yeah, how do you think we can maybe?
I think to prevent it from the beginning, like prevention would be like speaking and having an open system in the house where these kind of topics can be discussed, because for a lot of these people, whether it's an excuse or not, they all claim that they've been through, you know, experiences of self-hate. So if there was an environment at home where they could kind of tackle that, none of this would have happened. So I think allowing the discussion to be spoken a lot more freely at home would be a good preventative measure.
Yeah.
But now that it's happened, rather than cancelling,
Yeah. I
I
agree.
think discussions like this is important as well, anyways.
Yeah, you need to spread awareness. Like people need to
engage in it.
Speak up, and
I also think bottom line is like Twitter is not a good place to have these discussions. Like I feel like it only always occurs there as well, which is annoying. But it's just like so many 100,000 people just putting on all their different opinions and stuff, and it's like some people, I don't know, it's just not nice, and it's just and it's like, what more do you actually want from them? And that's what I want to know. Because like for example, for Bells, like a lot of people are like, oh, she should be donating to like sexual harassment charities or blah 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 blah, whatever. But with Nella, I don't understand what people want, because she apologized and people are not accepting the apology. Like what
that's all
I don't understand.
Yeah, like where do you actually go from here?
Like like at the end of the day,
what she said. So.
Exactly.
Because I feel like she said what needed to be said. There's not really much else she can say. She can't really erase her past.
Exactly. And she's taken the hit. Like she
has big time.
I hope she bounces back from this.
I really do hope so.
I think she will.
Yeah.
She better, because she's an iconic. Like she's an iconic part of.
Like she literally
like
makes the YouTube experience. So
genuinely.
I honestly don't care what happened. I never watched her before this. I watched her like my first year of uni when she did them group videos. That were funny.
Yeah. But shouldn't.
I watched her after that. Too much. I haven't watched it in years. I don't really care what happens.
She's the queen of Black YouTube.
Yeah, she is.
She's the queen of
after Patricia Bright.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, that's her too. But I mean, in terms of entertainment,
Nella Rose is up there. So
100%.
At the end of the day, though, there might be loads of dark-skinned girls and women out there that don't want to watch her anymore.
That's true.
Yeah, of course, and that's understandable completely.
Up to you, it's up to everyone else what they want to do. You can do what they want.
Well, everyone can just do what they want. Like, just do what you want.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a good conversation. I feel like we've raised a lot of good points. Obviously, these are our own opinions, so like, I hope no one takes offense to anything we said or anything. I hope you enjoyed the video.
Thank you for watching.
See you in the next video.